Hey everybody, Pete Greco with Productive Corporation here. It's 1 minute to 11 Central Time. We're going to wait a full minute here to let folks finish getting in before we kick this off, and then we're going to get right to it. All right, let's get this started. Again, this is Pete Greco, Vice President of Sales and Technology with Productive Corporation. And today we're going to talk about 5 emerging technologies in cybersecurity. And these are tools from relatively new partners to Productive Corporation, as well as some longtime partners of Productive Corporation. But new technologies that you can use to stay ahead of the game in your environment. So with a quick look, we're going to do Meet Productive in 1 minute. We're going to talk real quick about kind of some happenings and goings on. Then we're going to get right into it. And my goal is to get you out of here in 30 minutes or less. So let's kick it off. If you're not familiar with Productive Corporation, who are these guys? Security is our game for mid-size organizations. We've been around since 2001. I've been here the entire time. We offer a lot of expertise to help you with technical and security questions. We do vulnerability assessments and pen tests. We can help you implement the products that you're procuring from us. We do a lot around Active Directory security services, as well as Office 365. We can help you set up or review firewall configurations and all kinds of stuff. We also put out a lot of educational content. I have made a ton of videos, as well as a lot of our partners had made a ton of videos for our website and our YouTube channel. Check us out, productivecorp.com/solvingsecurity. Get some free advice, some free information, takes from me on what's going on in the market or in the security realm. And I think you'll find a lot of that stuff quite useful and quite informative. We can help you. Check us out, help@productivecorp.com. If you're working with us already, you know you can call your Productive account executive to get help, get advice, get the information that you need. And we're eager to work with you. So what's going on here? Technology is changing at breakneck speeds, and improvements that impact our business and personal lives can be seen every day. IT security even more so, and is driven by the modern hacking efforts of top-notch cyber gangs, nation states, as well as low-level hackers taking advantage of malware as a service tools to wreak havoc in myriads of ways. Nation states are after secrets, patents, military specifications, right? They want the ability to damage infrastructure, which could pave the way for a physical military attack or some other kind of attack on your infrastructure, right? They're not just targeting other governments. That is a part of it. They're targeting the supply chain, and in some cases are starting with such small businesses who are so far down the chain, they don't even know their widgets are being sold to a military contractor or a government supplier or to the government way down the line. They're making one tiny component. They really don't know what it's for. They're really just doing the job that they've been hired to do, right? And so some of these actors are also stealing American research and development and beating the makers and the researchers of that technology to market with their own products. And this was the case with US Solar. A bunch of these guys out here, if you do a little research, it's not too hard to find the stories, but these guys were beat to market with their own solar panels. So they spent all the money on the R&D and the development, and a Chinese company gets those specs and basically has a product to market before US Solar gets their market. And now they can charge a lot less because they've spent $0 in R&D, right? That's a challenge, and that's hurtful. Organizations need to be protected and need to figure out how to stay 5 steps ahead. A lot of people, you know, the common term is stay 1 step ahead. You got to stay 5 steps ahead, because at any moment you can find yourself losing steps, and you need a tremendous advantage. And you may not have all the resources and sophistication that a nation state or an extremely well-funded hacking group may have. Everybody on this call is running firewalls and endpoint protection, and I hope mail security, right? Some other basics that you should be using. If you aren't, call your productive rep immediately and let us help you. But some other basics: vulnerability scanning, patch management, web security, multi-factor authentication, and kind of the common thread there is a lot of folks feel like they only need it for VPN, but really you should be using it everywhere. Weak passwords are so pervasive, and even strong passwords now have been identified and stolen, right, and sold off the dark web, that now some of these complex passwords are available in reverse hash dictionaries, or even just to try with when they're connected to an identity. So even if you're using something complex, if that identity has been stolen and you're using that same password in multiple areas, now they're getting into, you know, into your network, into your systems, into your bank, whatever. Multi-factor goes a long way. And then encryption. If data gets stolen, let's make sure that it's completely useless. What we wanted to talk about today, though, are some new areas that can help you get value from your current security stack and get you to the next level. So first one from our partner Digital Defense, and you probably know these guys from the vulnerability scanning game, right? They have a great product there. This is not that. This product is called Active Threat Sweep. This tool is not dependent on being a vulnerability scanning client. So if you're already using a Tenable or a Qualys or a Rapid7, you're not excluded from using this. This is designed to supplement your existing endpoint security, and especially needed if you're running a basic AV, or maybe it's AV and host intrusion prevention. Maybe it's got some basic worm stopping capabilities or Trojan stopping capabilities, but fairly entry level. This tool is going to identify advanced hacking and threat techniques that are getting used that your endpoint product may not see. It also provides great visualization of your network to see gaps, devices missing protection, plus a whole bunch of other stuff that'll help reduce dwell time. And that dwell time is where surveillance is occurring, resource identification is happening, so that they can figure out what's going to be my next attack. So once I get in, I see what you're using, I see what your network looks like. Now I can start choosing malware that's going to work against you, right? And if we can reduce those dwell times, they don't get the opportunity to do that. Next up, from our partner Gitpol, Validator is the product. This is a young company with a lot of security experience under the hood. A lot of folks from very high-end organizations with massive cred have come together to start this organization and develop this product. It's been around for a couple of years. Their vision came from looking at organizations who have the right tools. They've got the right people. They've got the big InfoSec team, the right technologies, who still suffered massive hacks. Think Sony, right? 100 terabytes of data stolen. That did not happen over a holiday weekend when nobody was at work, right? That took a long time to get that data out of the environment, right? So you bought the right stuff, but how do you know when it's misconfigured? Misconfigs happen at the start and all along the way, right? So a lot of times people put in an application or a system or a server or whatever, they get it to a baseline, maybe they get professional service to make sure that it's not only installed correctly, but secured. But then you start running into situations where something's not working, you change a configuration, you update a configuration, maybe a patch does that for you, and you don't know that it's out of whack. And I've been guilty on hundreds of occasions of disabling or reconfiguring things to get an app working or connected to the network with, the idea that I'm going to come back and undo some of this stuff that wasn't the fix when I'm not busy, and this never happens, or by the time I come back to it, I can't remember all the stuff that I did or whatever. Validator will allow you to see config issues in an ongoing basis, so you know what your task list is for getting your systems in line with your desired policy. Even if you don't have budget for this now, you should get a look at it to see if this is something that you want to be thinking about for next year. Next up, and I think this is really a pretty cool technology to take a look at. The company is called Simulate Continuous Cybersecurity Validation. What this tool does is it takes real threats, real malware, real attack scenarios, and makes them benign, so you're not actually going to accidentally ransom one of your systems or anything like that. It makes them benign and then launches them in your network on your schedule. You choose what kinds of threats and attacks you want to do, so you're not just unleashing a massive wave of attacks that is maybe going to slow a system down, right? So it can be very targeted. And then you get a score that tells you how much of that threat worked, where it got stopped in the attack process, so that you can see how your security stack is handling the real things that may be coming your way. You get tons of info so that you can see how to reconfigure your solutions to make sure you're getting the defense that you paid for and are using things in the correct way, or an understanding of where you may need to add or replace solutions that are not up to par. If you're continually throwing basic threats at your endpoint security and they're always working, that may help you make a decision that it's time to switch, or maybe you bring in a ProServe guy to help you see what you're missing or whatever, but you're able to take action. And this is another one, even if you don't have the budget right now, or any budget right now, you want to get a look at this today so you can figure out if this is something you want to plan for next year. And really, just, you will not regret getting a look at this tool. All right. Now, I got 2 in a row here from Sophos, and you don't have to look too hard, or if you're familiar with us already, you know that we're a pretty large Sophos dealer. We've been partners with these guys going back to 2009. They're really a key member of our solution offering, right? They have been around for north of 30 years and have got a lot of great solutions. And so here's what's new from them: managed threat response. And this has been out, I say new, it's been out almost a year now, so it's not brand new, but still something that a lot of folks have not heard of. And what this does is add human intervention to your endpoint security. And they pick up when the technology identifies issues but can't remediate, or maybe cannot determine if it's been fully remediated. They also do the threat hunting for you and the remediation, which these kinds of services don't usually include. So it's not revolutionary to have like a security operations center or some kind of outsourced folks monitoring your security for you. But typically remediation is not included in that service, right? So this is a great offer to include that. Initially, some people are scared away by the price, but when you start looking at what it would cost to hire just one InfoSec Pro for your environment, the fee is a fraction of that cost, and you're getting access to an entire team that's around the clock, 365 days a year. So even when you're sleeping, they're there. When you're on vacation, they're there. They're not going on vacation. They're not taking a sick day, right? And that's where the value really comes in. They're also giving advice on config changes based on global and regional threat activity. So when was the last time you saw a news story about an attack in Lithuania and then updated a security policy, right? If never is your answer, same as mine, this is something you want to get a look at. And so next up, or I should say last but not least, also from Sophos, a product, and this product also not brand new. It's been around probably maybe over a year and a half, maybe coming up on 2 years here. But a lot of folks are not looking for these kinds of technologies and are not aware that they exist, right? The solution is called Cloud Optics. And this is for public cloud users. So think GCP, AWS, and Azure. And this tool is designed to show you what is going on or where you went wrong and help you when you're configuring new servers, serverless computing loads, S3 buckets or storage buckets, right? VPN connectivity, all of these resources, and help you understand how they're configured, how they're set up, and then provides a guardrail technology to make sure that when you're throwing up new resources, they're configured the way that you want them to be. Then you can run compliance checks to figure out where you've gone astray or that you're looking great, right? You have test dev, you have production, you have people in India who you think can only access certain resources. How do you know when they can see more? How do you know when test dev is now connected to production and production is connected to your internal network? We've seen multiple losses of data from the public cloud, and the bulk of them were due to misconfigs. I think it's something like 99.5% of cloud-related attacks have been due to a misconfiguration, not a vulnerability, not a lack of endpoint protection, not the signatures weren't updated, but a simple misconfiguration. And those things are hard to see. So with Cloud Optics, you can get an eye on what's going on in all three clouds at once. Or if you're just using two clouds or just one cloud, you can monitor whatever you've got. And if you're using public cloud now, at least let us set you up with a 30-day trial, right? No charge for that. Pretty easy to get it implemented. There's very little you can do. I think I set it up for our Azure environment. Took me less than 15 minutes to get it rolling. And you'll be able to see and fix all of your issues and never look at the solution again if you don't want to. But once you see what this does and you see some of the cool stuff like the network topology map and see how things are connected and how they align, you're going to want to get this into your budget for next year. If you're not using public cloud, this isn't for you. It's not going to check you know, a Salesforce or some kind of native cloud application for you. It's just for folks who are using GCP, AWS, and Azure. So that's it in a nutshell. Let me just check real quick and see if we have questions. I should have said, please feel free to ask questions along the way. That's on me. But thanks for coming. I will keep the line active for a few minutes to handle questions if anybody's got them. But this concludes the presentation. Your productive account executive will follow up with you at some point here to find out if you're interested in getting more information on any of these technologies or maybe getting a closer look. If I can do anything for you, you can reach all of us, help@productivecorp.com. You can reach me directly, Pete@productivecorp.com. Looking forward to chatting with everybody. Thanks and have a great day.